To understand the soul of this community, we have to look back over 300 years to a story that began a world away. Before Ferintosh was a name on the Alberta map, it was a legend in the Scottish Highlands. To an 18th century Scotsman, the word Ferintosh didn't just mean a place, it meant whiskey. It started with a rebellion in 1689. Jacobite forces burned the Ferintosh estate of Duncan Forbes to the ground. In compensation, the Scottish Parliament granted Forbes a unique privilege, the right to distill spirits on his land, completely tax-free. While others were taxed heavily, the Ferintosh region thrived. It became the whiskey capital of Scotland, producing over 100,000 gallons a year, and the government cancelled the privilege in 1784. The distilleries went cold, but the name survived. The legend was carried to the New World in the memory of Dr. J.R. MacLeod, a member of Alberta's first legislature. He hadn't forgotten his ancestral home and that very same district in Scotland. In 1910, a new settlement on Little Beaver Lake, originally called Lassen, was struggling with an identity crisis. Its mail was getting mixed up with another town's. They needed a name that carried weight, a name with history. And so Dr. MacLeod planted the legacy of the Highlands into the fertile soil of central Alberta. The village of Ferintosh was born. It's 1909. The prairies are slowly waking. The old buffalo trails, once so deeply worn into the earth, are quietly disappearing now, fading back into a wide sea of grass. In their place comes something swifter, something louder, something more powerful: steel. The Grand Trunk Pacific Railway is drawing its long path from Tofield to Calgary. They are not merely just laying rails across the open land. They are building and shaping the future. And along those lines, they are looking for places to rest. They soon find one on the peaceful shores of Little Beaver Lake, a still point where the prairie meets the quiet water, chosen to become the next small heartbeat along the way. The settlement's first name is Lassen, honoring J.H. Lassen, the local homesteader whose land was sliced in two by the new tracks. But as the rails go down, the town's ambition goes up. By January 9th, 1911, the village incorporates. It sheds the name Lassen and takes the historic mantle of Ferintosh. The heartbeat of this new village was the railway station. It was completed in June 1911 for the exact sum of $2,156. The little station rose as a quiet beacon for the young settlement. It was a handsome building, simple yet graceful, a 1.5-story wooden-framed structure, crowned by a gentle bell-cast hip roof, shaped to sweep the prairie rain well clear of waiting passengers. However, Ferintosh wasn't content with just being a whistle stop. 3 local investors, William Wilson, J.H. Lanson, and James Townsend, had a vision that is nothing short of audacious. They took one look at the deep, clear waters of Little Beaver Lake. Well, they didn't see a farm slough. They saw a destination. They named this stop the Banff of the North. Yes, it sounds incredible today, but in 1910, this was a serious mission. While Banff was the playground for the rich in the Rockies, Ferintosh was to be the playground for everyone else. To make it happen, they formed the Little Beaver Lake Hotel Company. They capitalized it with $25,000, a fortune in those days. Then they set out to build a legend. Their masterpiece was the Livingstone Hotel, opened in 1912. This three-story giant dominated the skyline, boasting nearly 60 rooms, full room service, and an upscale bar that stocked the finest spirits. This was no rough pioneer roadhouse. It was a luxury hotel designed to rival the best in Edmonton. The crowds soon followed. The railway ran special excursion trains, transporting weekenders from Camrose and Edmonton directly to the station. Passengers stepped off the train and walked just a few hundred yards to find themselves at a bustling resort. By 1912, bathhouses dotted the lakeshore, and the water came alive with canoes and regattas. The Banff of the North. Yes, it was a beautiful dream, but in 1915, reality came knocking. Alberta had decided to go dry. Prohibition had arrived, and with it, the lifeline of the great Livingstone Hotel was severed. The investors had bet everything on luxury. Prohibition took effect July 1st, 1916, and a high-end hotel without a bar was a ship without a sail. The crowds eventually dwindled, and the train stopped delivering the weekend tourists. The hotel, once the jewel of the line, was sold for taxes. It was dismantled piece by piece. The timber that once sheltered the rich was hauled away, leaving only a ghostly reminder of the ambition that built it. Yet Ferintosh survived. When the tourists vanished, the town endured, stripping away the resort's veneer to reveal a gritty, hard-working village underneath. Just 3 years earlier, by the end of 1912, Ferintosh was already a self-sufficient world. 2 livery stables and a pair of blacksmiths kept the horses shoed and the wagons rolling. Town boasted a creamery, a lumberyard, and even its own jail, a sturdy reminder that law and order was necessary, even in paradise. And as the playful echoes of the lake faded, the roar of agriculture took over. The grain elevators became the new castles of the community, rising high above the flat prairie to boast the town's true wealth. They weren't just storage bins. They were the heartbeats of the local economy. Come harvest time, lines of wagons stretched down the road, their boxes overflowing with the prairie gold, waiting to deposit the season's labor into the bellies of those wooden giants. By the late 1920s, those wooden giants were holding up to 400,000 bushels a year, a staggering river of gold flowing from those local farms. The era of the resort was over. This was the era of harvest, where the wealth of the town was no longer found in its hotel, but in its soil. The town had settled in to a busy, steady rhythm, particularly down at the gravel pits. The Ferintosh Gravel Company was in the middle of transforming the industry, moving away from the old ways of doing things. In the early years, the work was defined by simple manual labor, with men and horses hauling the gravel by hand. But by 1930, the operation had modernized. Steam shovels were brought in to take over the heavy lifting. This was a necessary shift, allowing the company to keep pace with the needs of a growing province. On Main Street, the horse era was giving way to the engine. The premier garage, built by Fred Graff in 1925, became the new hub. In those days, getting fuel, well, it was a chore. Fred had to drive all the way to Camrose to haul back full 45-gallon drums of fuel just to keep the local cars running. Also during this time, the village's soul transformed as the rowdy hotel bar gave way to faith. Anchored by the 1916 Zion Lutheran Church and the massive 1,000-seat tabernacle built in 1928, Ferintosh became a spiritual hub. Alongside the new Alberta Bible Institute housing, these landmarks marked a distinct shift from earlier festivities to a new lasting foundation of dedication. In the life of a prairie town, time is something that you cannot stop. Ferintosh followed that familiar prairie pattern: growth, contraction, and adjustment. As the frantic energy of the pioneer years had moved on, town began to breathe again. A resort town, well, that dream had passed. The roaring machinery of the grain elevators eventually fell silent as well. While most of the buildings have changed, the heartbeat of the community did not. It simply found a new rhythm. Today, the town is powered by connection. Look at the Battle River Gas Co-op. In a world of massive corporate utilities, this local success story stands out, serving the region with the same spirit of independence that brought the first settlers here. And hospitality never left either. While the massive resort is a memory, the Ferintosh Hotel remains the cornerstone of Main Street. It's a place where neighbors still gather to share a meal and raise a glass, proving that you don't need a luxury title to be a welcoming home. History loves symmetry. In the boom year of 1912, when the excursion trains were running, the population of Ferintosh hit nearly 200 souls. War came, depression hit, and for decades it seemed the number would never be reached again. But look at the census today. In the last 5 years, something quite remarkable has happened. The population has been steadily ticking upward. Today there are roughly 200 people calling Ferintosh home once again. In a quiet way, the number has returned to where it once stood. We are back where we started, not with a roar, but with a whisper of resilience. Today, families are making their way back, drawn by the stillness of the campground and the winding trails around Little Beaver Lake, escaping that relentless noise of the cities that they once flocked to. "300 years ago, in the smoke of the Scottish Highlands, the name Ferintosh became a legend because of a privilege, a tax exemption for whiskey. The privilege was taken away, but today, in the clear air of central Alberta, we have found a new privilege. It has nothing to do with tax-free whiskey. It isn't about being the Banff of the North. The privilege of Ferintosh today is the privilege of a quiet life. It is the privilege of walking into the hotel for a meal with friends. It's the privilege of watching the sun set over Little Beaver Lake, knowing that over 100 years ago, this community has weathered every storm and is still standing. The distillery fires are long cold. The resort, well, it's gone. The people, they're home. This is the legacy. This is Ferintosh. Hey, my name is Mike. Thanks for coming along for the ride. If you enjoyed this one, consider hitting the like button and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. And remember, there's always another stretch of rail, another town, another story waiting over the horizon. Until next time, keep your wheels on the rails, and I'll see you down the line.